Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. And welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. If you're here for the hot topics. And more importantly, you're here because you want to see my show review. You want to see my show review, and I want to share that with you. I know I'm a few days late. Y'all don't curse me for filth. But we are now reviewing Real Housewives of Potomac, season 9, episode 11, and this episode is called Secrets of the Love Lagoon. Okay, so let's get it rolling. All right. So hold on. Hold on 1 second. All right. So the episode gets started. Something I noticed on the beginning of the episode is that Stacy is before Ashley in the lineup for the introduction when it first comes on. I said, Ashley, girl, you on your way out the door, but who knows? Anywho, it starts with Mia at an outing with her two kids, Juju and Jeremiah, right? And she's trying to spend her quality time with her kids to pretty much showcase that I'm a good mom and I want you to believe me. And I'm looking at Mia like we don't. But go ahead with the story, girl. I hear you, and I hope things work out for you. But I really, really don't believe in my heart of hearts that you are a good mother. I think you're doing some bullshit with Gordon. And hold on 1 sec. Yes, I think you're doing some bullshit with Gordon and you want to make yourself look good. So you're like, listen, guys, I'm a good mother. Look at me out with my kids. We don't care about that, Mia. You're a man and you get on my fucking nerves, right? But in the next scene, we see Stacy, Giselle, and Cameron, and they meet up for lunch. Stacy has a mean ass tan in her confessional. I love Stacy. I love Stacy. I love Stacy. She cracks me up. But anyway, they bring up Cameron and Ray's event for couples and it's called the Love Lagoon. And then they start talking about Stacy's love life. And Giselle is hell bent on encouraging Stacy to be a thought. Right. And I'm not gonna lie, I was peeking at my Aunt Kern because she was low-key on board. And I'm not gonna lie, even being a person in a relationship, you do share with people that listen, it's nothing wrong with being single and acting as such. Because when I was single, and I was single for a long time, I was single for 12 years. I dated and I had a good old time. So when you are not committed to somebody, you don't have to shackle yourself down with a person if there's no commitment. But this is one thing I will share that worked for me. And I totally get Stacey on this part is if she does want to be intimate with anybody, it's one person. And that was always my thing. And no matter how many people I dated, I was only intimate with one person. But her and TJ are not intimate, so that's null and void. Right? But like I said, it made me peek at my Aunt Kern because she was low-key on board for Stacy being a little thought, right? So then Giselle was trying to convince Stacy that TJ is messing with somebody. And I'm like, here we go with this BS. Like, why do some people do this? And I don't want to say this is only women that do it because sometimes men do it too. I really want to understand why. Why, when your situation is not at its best or you're not in a situation, do you now want to try to encourage the other folks around you to either A, leave their situation or be suspicious about their situation? Listen, don't be miserable and hating, Giselle. If this is how Stacey want to feel about TJ, she has the right to feel like he's being faithful to her, whatever that looks like, while they're dealing and not having sex, right? Um, and once again, Aunt Kern is in her confessional, low-key co-signing that she feels like TJ might be living a double life. I mean, me personally, I don't have TJ to think about one way or the other, but so I didn't think much into if that could be true, but that's fine. What I like that Stacey said in her confessional was she was like, listen, I ain't worried about what TJ is doing in LA, and these bitches shouldn't be worried either. I said, right, Stacey, right, because until they start sucking his cock or licking your clit, they don't need to worry about what your piece is doing. So I was with Stacey on that one, right? So in the next scene, the girls meet up at some boutique, right? And I was like, okay. And I'm with Giselle. Giselle was like, why are we here? Why are we here? What is going on now, right? And Wendy showed up. And okay, let's be clear. I love Dr. Wendy. I love Dr. Wendy. Like I said, I definitely feel like Dr. Wendy is really, really accomplished. I think she's a beautiful woman. I think to some degree she's very fashionable on the show, and I can get with Dr. Wendy. The part that I can't get with Dr. Wendy is, for whatever reason, the fashionista diva that she's trying to portray, for whatever reason, the it girl, is she's not landing a plane. She's not landing a plane. And again, I don't want to say, because all the things I just listed shouldn't make her the it girl, right? She's beautiful, she's fashionable, she's smart, she's a great wife, a great mom. She has a lot. She's well accomplished. Like she it I like Dr. Wendy, but I don't know, something about she just isn't landing a plane with her being that girl. Like you see, like I'll give an example, right? You see how when Portia first got on Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? She was pretty much like down home. She was going with Cordell. She was wearing, pretty much Little House on the Prairie dresses and, acting all dingy and ditzy. But when Portia stepped out into Thotland, it was believable. Like everything about Portia exuded sex appeal and, I'm that motherfucking girl. And, something about Portia, you bought that from her, even though it was a transformation from who she used to be. For Dr. Wendy, for whatever reason, is like if she was just telling me that out of her mouth, like I got all of this and I got all that and I'm that girl, I still would be looking at her like, for real? Whereas with Portia, I believe it. I don't know if I'm landing the plane, and I don't want to discredit Dr. Wendy. She's gorgeous. I love her, but it's just it makes me feel like sometimes she be doing too much. That's what I get. I get the feeling like sometimes she be doing that too much. But anyway, they're there because Dr. Wendy announced to the girls that they're going on a trip to Panama. That made me really excited because, as you guys know, my dad was a Panamanian, so I'm half Panamanian. I was so excited to hear that, and I plan on going to Panama within the next 2 years, right? So she was like, she had them there at the boutique because she wanted them to pick up some pieces for the trip, right? So then they start inquiring with Mia about who she's bringing to Karen's Love Lagoon. And she says that she's not bringing Gordon and Ink is not in town. So she wants to bring her lesbian lover, Jacqueline, who wasn't originally invited because remember, this is at Aunt Kern's house and Aunt Kern is done with fucking Jacqueline. So she went over and she pulled Aunt Kern to the side. She like, listen, I just want to inquire if it was okay for me to bring Jack. She didn't even get Quillen out because Aunt Kern was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. My home is my sanctuary, my peace, and I'm not allowing this messy bitch who tried to play in my motherfucking face to get your approval in my space. So no, I don't give a damn how good she suck your coochie, right? So Mia went over and she's telling Jacqueline, like, I'm sorry. Karen said that shit is a dub, and I love it because our Karen was on the side reiterated, yes, don't bring your ass there. Right. You're not gonna play with me. And see, girl, we'll get into that. So, anywho, Jacqueline pretends to not be bothered. She's like, well, I'm okay. The rejection doesn't get to me and blah, 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 blah. Jacqueline, you are so fucking thirsty that you are dehydrated. So you were definitely interested in coming. Hold on one sec, you guys. Sorry about that. So, anywho, in the next scene, they show Kiana and Greg. So, Kiana, well, first of all, Kiana was on Watch What Happens Live Sunday with Dr. Heavenly. Kiana looked absolutely positively stunning. Kiana looked absolutely positively stunning. Her middle part bust down was so elite. She had on some nice Balenciaga earrings. I didn't particularly love the dress with the stockings, but I see where she was going with it. She took her braces off. She looked gorgeous. But anywho, and on Potomac, they flashed to her and she's there telling her boo Greg that they're going away. And then she says, but I think we're going to Florida, right? Because we're going to Panama City. So Greg was like, are I'm sorry, are you going to or are you staying, like what, where are you going? So he was like, no, baby, you're not going to Panama City, Florida. That does exist. You're actually going to Panama. And she was like, I was looking at Kiana. I was like, okay, Kelly Bundy. So, anywho, and then she brings up like the girls' trip and how it's about liberation. And she was like, since this girls' group has had 3 divorces. And Greg was like, I'm sorry, what is this group at? She was like, 3 divorces, and Giselle's about to be an empty nester. So he was like, wait a minute. As everybody marriages ended because of the show, I was like, oh shoot. So then Kiana shared how Greg is not too enthused about being on camera. And she was pretty much like how she doesn't feel supported on this journey. Right. And then she also shared how opposite they are and in this relationship. And she was like, and they also opposite in their values and what they tend to value in their relationship. And I was thinking to myself, I'm sorry, no shade, Kiana, but I really would like to know why you and Greg are together, because every time you're on camera, you're saying that you guys are not compatible and how he doesn't really want to do this. And then even when seeing you guys together, it it looks a little odd. So I'm like, is this could what's going on here, baby? What's going on here? As a viewer, I'm just asking because it's giving a little cringy when I see y'all together, and it could also be he's uncomfortable being on camera. But then I don't really see you guys embrace in a sense that, like, case in point, when Jazzy and Darius are at the Love Lagoon, like they're sitting next to each other. She's rubbing his leg, like they gave me like they are into each other. You and Greg don't give me that. And then every time I look up, you're saying all the differences between the two of you. So is this a relationship that has the propensity to go anywhere? Okay. Anywho, in the next scene, we see Stacy go to lunch with her sister aunt. So she said that this is her dad's sister, but her aunt, which is her dad's sister, but they grew up like sisters to each other, right? So then they was talking about her separation from her husband and how she's soon to be divorced. And she talked about TJ, which was the aunt sister slash sister first time hearing about him. And I mean, yeah, I was happy to see somebody else aside from Arabella regarding Stacy, but I didn't really give a damn about that scene with the sister aunt Nora also because I didn't really care to hear about TJ and how that's going because Stacy, although I love you on the show, that's not going anywhere, my dear. Anywho, in the next scene, Giselle is on a date with, I want to say his name is Nams. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but anywho, she's on a date with him and he surprised her and said, well, we're going salsa dancing. I would have been looking at Noms like he was fucking crazy. First of all, I just got all dolled up, makeup, wig, glue, lashes, and you want me to go somewhere to sweat? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I go on dates to look cute and sweating and all that other shit that doesn't assist me in looking cute. So I would have said, no. You would have had to tell me beforehand that we would go salsa dance so I could put the shit back in the ponytail. So I was like, I mean, okay, I guess, right? So Giselle was like, well, let's do some rapid fire questions. And I mean, the questions were pretty much on the surface: Jordan or LeBron, Biggie or Pop, blah, 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 blah. During that time, the answers he gave, like I said, they weren't anything to peek at him about. But Giselle said in her confessional, she was like, Nams is nice, but he might be a little too nice. And she basically said how she's really turned on by guys who are like a little mean to her. That's an attraction. That's her attraction too. And I said, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's why you be bitches to everybody on the show and then think that they're still supposed to be friendly with you because that's how you equate whether a person likes you if they're nasty, mean, and disrespectful to you. And that's why you still in love with your ex-husband because he cheated on you and lied every step of the way. Okay, got it, Giselle. I just learned something new about you. And it's good to learn new things about you because you was trying to keep all that shit under wraps. But see, I can clock your motherfucking tea every step of the way because I know bitches like you. Anywho, it's time for Cameron's Love Lagoon event, right? She's hosting it at her home, right? And the mermaids came out. And here Uncle Ray was like, yeah, look at the mermaids. That's what I'm into. I'm like, yeah, Uncle Ray, get your shit up. Fuck that. Karen keep getting drunk and fucking anyway. No, I ain't gonna do that to you, Aunt Karen. I love you. So anywho, on the way there, Giselle, Ashley, Noms, and Ashley's date Josh are driving together and they're in the car talking. And Ashley just basically saying, like, she's a little bit nervous about taking Josh around the girls because she likes him. And so she knows she's going to be protective of him. And sometimes the bitches in this group can be sharks. And Giselle looked at Noms and was like, I ain't protecting you, my nigga. You on your own. I was cracking up. He was like, nah, I'm good. She's like, no. I got your back. Right? So anywho, Stacy and TJ arrived. Mia and her feet arrive. Jazzy and Darius arrive. Wendy and Eddie arrived. Wendy and Eddie ate the motherfucking group up, okay? Wendy and Eddie ate the group up. Wendy and Eddie ate the group up. They looked so nice. Wendy and Eddie chomped the group up, right? And then on top of that, they came bearing some, Happy Eddie gifts. So I thought that was really nice. Kiana and Greg arrived, and then Wendy in her confessional once again. Oh, Lord have mercy. Wendy in the confessional was there once again trying to land the plane of her being the it girl. And one of the ways that she was trying to say so is she was saying that she sees that she's starting to influence these girls and how imitation is the highest form of flattery because Aunt Kern's whole decor looks like her decor. Dr. Wendy, when you were saying that, I fell asleep for like 2 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how. I'm sorry. I do not know how to tell you or explain to you how to land that it girl image you're trying to portray, but it's not happening, mama. It's not. But you are that girl in some regard, but the it girl, yeah, okay, girl. So you know why? I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You have to actually believe it yourself. And I don't necessarily feel like Dr. Wendy, even with all your accomplishments and your accolades and how beautiful you are and your family, because you definitely have things that make you that girl. I feel like you still don't actually believe that. And spending time trying to convince everybody else, I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm reading it as you're just trying to convince everybody else something that you don't believe yourself. Whereas Portia, like I said, from Housewives, I believe she believed, bitch, I'm that girl. I am that girl, right? Who else? Who else from another reality show that I can honestly say I believe they believe that they're that girl? Let me think about it for a little while. I'll get back to that, right? So, anywho, Karen decorated so nice. Everybody was loving the mermaids, right? So Mia, when they all sat down, Mia threw some shade at Giselle, and she was like, "Oh, this is my first time seeing you with a man." And Giselle clapped the fuck back. Yes, bitch, get into it. Yes, get into it, because all I do is see you with niggas. So that's called class, bitch. I don't bring. You know what, Mia? I cannot fucking stand you. So on this show, at least. Anyway, so anywho, Kern was like, well, listen, let's get the game started. So you had to select the question. Kern selected a question first. She was like, listen, do you feel like your partner has ever cheated on you? And everybody had to go around and answer the question, right? So Ray and Cameron both said no. And the entire staff got in the confessional and was like, I'm sorry, what? There's definitely some allegations, but we'll move on, right? And Stacey said, despite what Karen and Giselle says about you, TJ, I don't believe you cheat, right? So TJ then said, well, I don't sleep with anybody but my Bugs Bunny that's on his bed. And Stacey, you know what I think? I think that you're a little intimidated by TJ. And I don't think that intimidated in the sense that, oh, he might beat your ass if something happened. No. I just think that he pretty much holds the cards of whether you guys are going to make it or not. So you sometimes refrain from inquiring things about him or saying uncomfortable things to him because you know he holds all the cards. So what you tend to keep doing, and you've been doing it in every episode, of we're on episode fucking 11, is that every time you say something to him, you make mention that somebody else said it. And my thing is that if what they said didn't mean shit to you, you don't need to repeat it to him. And if it does strike a chord in you, you can just ask him the question on your own. But to constantly keep saying what everybody else said, knowing it's the answer that you really want, it's irritating and immature. Also, if he holds all the cards in his back pocket, then what the fuck do you have? And do you actually want to leave your marriage and now date a man who you're dangling, try to make sure that, okay, this is like, I just noticed you do that a lot and it irritates me. So anywho, they clocked Stacey T, and they was like, well, since you want to share, we also told her, TJ, that she needs to start researching some new decks. I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So anywho, next they asked Jazzy and Darius. And Darius was like, no, I don't think Jazzy ever cheated. And Jazzy was like, yeah, I do. I actually do. She was like, I'm in love, but I'm not stupid. And there was a number of discrepancies. So I actually do think you did. I was like, you better say that shit, Jazzy. So anywho, Eddie and Wendy said no confidently, like absolutely not. Greg and Kiana said no, but then Greg made a joke and was like, and she couldn't because I'm having her watch or some shit like that. He why all the Gregs on the show be corny? Riddle me that. Like, why on the Gregs on these shows be corny? Like when he said that, everybody was like, So, anywho, Mia said she's speaking on behalf of Gordon, who's currently still her husband, and she was like, she doesn't believe he ever cheated, but yes, she has cheated on him, but they have also had threesomes together, right? And everybody was like, yeah, bitch, because you almost left that part out. So let's clock your tea, right? So she was like, no, but I still don't consider that cheating because we both were consenting to a third party being in our bed. And I agree. I think cheating is when you're doing something behind your partner's back with someone else. But if that person and you are saying, hey, let's do it together, then I don't necessarily know if I view that as cheating. Anywho, Kiana picked the next question, which was, are you more dominant or submissive in the bed? Right. But she kind of directed that question to TJ, and everybody was like, what? And she was like, well, we that'll give you some insight. And TJ was like, sweetheart, I said, I'm not fucking Stacy. I never said I never fucked before. I'm not a virgin. I was like, right, TJ, poke your motherfucking chest out and let your nuts hang, nigga, because they over here calling you a mook. So what you gonna do? Is you is or is you ain't, right? So anywho, Kiana and Wendy said they're submissive. Eddie said he's dominant. Everybody said Mia's a man. Mia shared she was dominant with Gordon, but she's submissive with Ink. And Mia, I call fucking bullshit. I call bullshit. You know what you're doing, Mia. And again, I swear to God, when I leave my primary job, when I retire, I'm going to go into producing. I hopefully will have had put together my own shows as opposed to partnering with the team to produce other shows. And I say that because Mia, your whole goal here, which you think nobody can see, is that you want to try to paint Ink as that nigga, which is why you're leaving your marriage. Mia, nobody believes Ink is that nigga. I'm sorry, Mia. I regret to inform you. Nobody believes that about Ink. But okay, girl, keep going. So Nam said he's Nigerian and dominant. And Ashley says she's dominant when she's with women, but she's submissive when she's with men. Ashley, okay, girl. Then Wendy shared she experienced another glimpse of Ashley's lesbianism. And Josh, Stacy, and Darius said they were dominant. Ray said it started with Ray said Carrie used to be dominant. She used to be tearing his ass up. And Giselle asked Ray, would he like for Karen to take her mouth out of retirement because Karen said she don't suck dick no more. And Ray was like, you're goddamn right, I would like for her to do that. And Karen was looking at Giselle like, bitch, I'm not here to suck that old shit. You know what? I'm not even going to talk bad about my Uncle Ray because I love him, right? So as they're all having fun and doing their 1-2 thing, you know what happened? Uncle Ray was calling it a pooch. I was cracking up, as you could tell Uncle Ray old. But anywho, so now a little pooch comes on there. So they like, who dog is this? And now you see this fucking ditz, Jacqueline. She's coming and she comes with all of these balloons and she starts handing them out. And she's there saying, oh, this is the 8 balloons for the 8 citations that can. Jacqueline. Jacqueline, do me a favor, right? I totally get that you are trying to wiggle your way into this group. I totally get that, right? I also totally understand why you will constantly be taking Mia's advice on how to infiltrate this group because she has. But I want you to keep in mind that Mia is giving you advice. Mia is advising you on what she would do. You are not Mia. So when you pull these antics and these stunts, you look very fucking stupid and you get embarrassed every time because you don't know how to land the plane the way Mia would have. right? And I've said this to you guys before on another review. Mia always looks so fucking stupid and embarrassed as well when Jacqueline doesn't fucking land the plane. So now here she is like, oh no, I'll walk her out. Ray, we're so sorry. She shouldn't have did it. She should not have did it. But you know what, Mia? You advised her to. And I think you keep ill advising her because if you were smart, you would understand that she can't do what you do. She didn't grow up in a group home like you. Okay? But because you keep trying to get her to do these things and she's so fucking dumb and she's also not that kind of person, she's a little weaker than you. She's not landing the plane. She's not seeing it through. And it's just not hitting how she thinks it is. It's not the flex that she thinks it is. And then you're looking stupid. And so the fuck was she. Because Uncle Ray was like, sweetie, you have to get this pooch off our yard. We would absolutely not. And Uncle Kern was like, bitch, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 before I leap on you. Okay. And you ended up getting put out. And to a point, Giselle was in her confessional. She was like, I didn't even hear about the citation. What happened? I didn't know. Exactly. Exactly. It was not the flex you thought it was, sis. I wish they just eject you from the show, especially since you just announced that you're pregnant. We don't want, Jacqueline, we're not here for you. I'm absolutely not. That's a no. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. She gets on my fucking nerves. And Mia, your protege, it's not working, boo-boo. It's not working. You better off trying to more so infiltrate ink into the group. We don't want to see Jacqueline. We're not here for Jacqueline. In any event, ladies and gentlemen, that is my Real Housewives of Potomac review. I really enjoyed the show. I did watch Jocelyn's Cabaret. I did watch Baddies. I might drop in this weekend and give y'all that review. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. In any event, you guys go check out all the Dear Deejas that were released. One was released yesterday, one was released today, and another Dear Deja will be released tomorrow. Please make sure if you're new to my channel, you like, comment, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you can get all of my notifications for my videos when they drop. You lovely people, enjoy your evening.